All right, welcome to the Number One Bengals podcast. I'm your host, Daddy McDuke. As always, joined by John Sheeran and our very special co-host, Luke the Truth Null. Today, we have a very special guest, really a special guest. So, John, I don't know if you remember, we had Ken Anderson on the show not too long ago. And we talked about his Hall of Fame case. And we wanted to get Mr. Ken Riley on the show, and unfortunately he passed away, God rest his soul, and he was not honored in the Hall of Fame, but we're going to keep pushing until he does get in. And this show, we've done shows about him, and we're going to keep doing it, and by the end of this show, anybody who was not convinced is going to understand why he belongs in the Hall of Fame. John, Ken Riley, was 3-time All-Pro at the cornerback position, even though he was a great quarterback at Florida A&M. And he was so good that they called him the Rattler. Now, if you look up Florida A&M right now, guess what the whole team is called?
The Rattlers.
They're called the Rattlers, John. And that man rattled not only the organization, not only the state of Florida, but football. The man was an inspiration. And John, when you think of snake nicknames, you think of Kobe Bryant. Guess who inspired Kobe Bryant?
I don't know. A black mamba?
Ken Riley. It was Ken Riley.
There we go.
Yeah, because Rattler, a snake, Mamba, a snake. So if you look at sports in general, you will see his fingerprints everywhere. Now, not only do you see his inspiration for the name Rattler, but you see his inspiration for the name for another man and the very existence of this man. And I'm talking about Ken Riley II. Now we're going to bring him on the show. Ken, how are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me. That was quite a introduction there.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually free of charge. I don't charge Bengals players or their offspring. It is a policy we have here. You also get 10% discount at the Daddio store. This is one of, veterans have a lot of benefits. Veteran Bengals players and their children also. Yeah, here they have benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he charges me to be on here, though. I do have to pay money every time.
That's true. That's true. But Luke, we promote your show. We promote by the way, Luke, he just tore up all of the West Coast. I'm talking about the Bay Area, Las Vegas. All of them are like, where can we get this Luke on our show? And yeah, so when you talk about Ken Riley, Mr. Ken Riley II, we talk about his brilliant mind. The guy was accepted as a Rhodes Scholar. But for some reason, he was asked to switch position at the professional league. We don't know exactly why. And another guy who's drafted a year before him was Marlon Briscoe, I think, who's the first black quarterback ever, also asked to switch position. It's a very strange trend that you're seeing. But it's not the case today. We have a lot of great black quarterbacks who have been able to play the quarterback position. But yeah, so when you look at his play as a cornerback, it's very clear that the man has the anticipation. He can read offenses. He can tell where the ball is going. I think we lost Ken II. Are you there, Mr. Ken? Yeah, I think we lost him. So, he's coming in with a different stream now. Okay.
You were on a roll there.
Yeah, I was.
You were rolling.
I lost my script. Yeah.
Put Ken in on the nickname alone. Put him in for Rattler alone.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to. That's exactly my argument, Luke. Yeah. Let's see if we can get Ken here. Here we go. Ken II. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Oh, this works now. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Mr. Riley, we were talking about how your father had a great anticipation.
Hold on
Okay.
1 second.
We're getting there. We're working through it.
Yeah, John, why don't you tell us your take on this?
On Ken Riley, just in general, I mean, the dude's a legend in Cincinnati and in the NFL, and period. Like, you don't rack up that much production over 15 years as a cornerback in the NFL without being a special talent. I think you mentioned that he was a former quarterback at Florida A&M. You know, the Bengals at that time, they had some quarterback talent. Like Paul Brown said, hey, go play cornerback. I think you might be talented there. You could be something there. 65 interceptions later, he's one of the greatest cornerbacks in that era of football and should be honored as much in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But just being that former quarterback, having that experience playing for the other side of the
Hopefully this
ball,
works now.
Yeah.
I think we got you,
Okay.
Ken.
Yeah, John, that's true. So I think playing Mr. Riley, I think playing on the other side of the ball, okay, gave him the ability to read the minds of other quarterbacks. But he was a very, very let's be clear here. Ken Riley was a smart man. He was a Rhodes Scholar candidate. He turned it down. He could have gone to engineering school. That was one thing they asked him: do you want to be an engineer or do you want to play football? And here's the thing. That led to him being so great at anticipating what quarterbacks were going to do. Now, I want to ask you, as someone who grew up with him, was that a positive, or was that like a fun thing, or was it frustrating at home? Like, did he always spoil movies by being able to predict the endings, or no? Like, did he like tell your mom, like, I know what you're going to make for dinner tonight before, before she could? Was it something that? What was it like growing up with the great Ken Riley?
It was definitely at the time you really don't realize it. He's just like your father. But as I got older and started having my own kids and I actually played football myself, I come to realize that it was, it was more to it, and all of the hard work that he put in. I just remember, like I said, riding the car when he was working out and running alongside the car, and just getting the ability to play for 15 years and even at 36 lead the conference in interceptions. So I just gained more and more respect as I got older and realized the hard work and dedication that he put into it. And not only just just to being a professional and just being able to learn from him. So it was definitely great having your hero as your father. So it was very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Luke, yeah, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I have a question because I feel like you've made the case for your dad. Your dad has a great case. The longevity, he's got the stats, he's got the story, he's smart, he's got it all, right? What is this? Why do you think? Is it purely because he played for the Bengals that he's not in the Hall of Fame? Like, what would he think that the strike against him is? Like, why? What's the case against why he's not in there? Is it only that he played for the Bengals?
I can't hear. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Riley. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So the question is, when you look at what he had accomplished in his career, and the fact that, by the way, he had a career high 8 interceptions his last year. He could have kept going. He could have kept stacking
Went out
up
on
the
top.
stats. Went out on top, 3-time All-Pro. He says, Luke Null says, why didn't he get the recognition? Was it just because he played for the Bengals? Or I have another theory. Was it his humility? Because the man was so soft-spoken, so humble. And we know he was a 3-time All-Pro, but never made the Pro Bowl. Like, how does that happen? All-Pro is much harder than Pro Bowl. So he just wasn't recognized, in popular culture at the time either. Yeah.
Great points. I believe it was a combination of both, where he was a humble guy. If you met him, even just to, if you would ever meet him, you would never know he was 5th all time and 4th all time at the time of his retirement in interceptions. He felt that his work should speak for himself. And he was very prideful, and he knew he had put in the work, knew he deserved it. But it was always taught, from, my grandmother and family, just like I said, let your work speak for itself. So in a way, I think that did hurt him. because he wasn't boastful, and just being in a smaller market hurt him as well. Whereas Cincinnati, if he would have been on one of the other popular teams, he probably definitely would have already been in the Hall of Fame and made several Pro Bowls. But he was grateful to spend his entire career with Cincinnati, and the Bengals have always been family. We love the fans, and it was like playing for Coach Paul Brown was one of the highlights, as well as Coach Greg. So it was definitely something that he cherished, and things happen. So everything happens for a reason. He always believed that too. So maybe if he'd have went somewhere else, he might have not had that career. So it was definitely a blessing to spend his entire career with the Cincinnati Bengals, and hopefully one day through it all, we can get him into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So
well, it is a blessing to have you on the show, sir. We just got our largest donation ever. That $10. That is going to pay for Luke Null's appearance on here. I don't know if you know, but Luke Null used to be on Saturday Night Live. He's very expensive. John, I
fired immediately, Ken. I got fired immediately.
That's because, like your father, they didn't recognize his greatness. They could not.
Exactly.
He's because of his humility. He's also very humble.
But I'm more of an Icky Woods type.
I can
where
see
I burn
that.
bright just for the moment.
Sometimes you got to toot your own horn. So.
Exactly. But I'm the opposite of humility. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Riley, we have another co-host who's not here right now, Dr. Hoji the Electricus Moji. He says I like conspiracy theories. I don't know. I just think there are alternative narratives to a lot of facts, is the way I'll put it. I have a theory, okay, about your father. Okay. He was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, very active, very smart. And I think a lot of times people like that, you look at the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you look at Muhammad Ali, these type of people are intimidating, I think, in the public eye sometimes. Very intelligent black men who are active and know what they can achieve, and they will use their platform to achieve greater things. Sometimes I feel like their achievements are not highlighted as much as others. What do you think?
You bring up some great athletes, and like I said, they were very not only on the field but off the field as well. Who knows? I don't know the reasoning behind it. Like I said, there's a lot of other former Cincinnati Bengals that deserve to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But like I said, small markets. I don't know. But all we can do is control what we can control, and that's one of the things that my father always believed in. So, like I said, he's put in the work. His numbers speak for himself. So all we can do is just continue to move forward and continue to fight a good fight, and hopefully in the near future he'll get his due justice. But if not, like I said, he's always a Hall of Famer in my book and my family's book. So that means the most. So
I would
and the
say
Bengals
this.
Ring of Honor coming up too. I mean, that's cool that the Bengals finally recognize him.
That's right.
It's about time,
We forgot to talk about the Ring of Honor. Mr. Riley, we have been pushing for the Ring of Honor for a long time. Now, what happened was initially Mike Brown, according to a lot of people are saying this, he thought it was a literal ring that he would have to pay for. And he did some searches about the cheapest material to make a ring. Anything you look up, he could not afford a ring that large to fit all the players. I told him it's a metaphorical ring. They just hold hands in a circle. And I told them we can do the whole deal, the party supplies to celebrate and everything, for under $200. Guess what? Next day, Ring of Honor announced. I don't want to take the credit. Obviously, your father and his contributions, and Ken Anderson, the other players had a lot to do with the Ring of Honor. But yeah, it was also the financial side, and I was in Mike Brown's ear.
Wow. So you were the mastermind behind that. Who would have done that? That's awesome.
He might be a puppet, but he controls the strings sometimes.
Great honor and a privilege for my father to go in as part of the inaugural first class with Coach Paul Brown, Anthony Munoz, and Ken Anderson. So it's a lot of greats that has been through there. So to be part of that first class is it's very exciting and a great honor for my father.
Yeah. And I want to add something to your father's Hall of Fame resume, if I can. It's not the actual, it doesn't actually exist, but it does in my heart. And that is he's the equivalent of a 3-time Super Bowl champ. Because if you can go to a Super Bowl on the Bengals, it is the equivalent of winning 3 Super Bowls with a franchise like the Steelers or the Cowboys or 49ers. To get to a Super Bowl, like Ken Anderson, he's a 3-time Super Bowl. To take a team to that franchise to a Super Bowl should get way more recognition. So I'm serious. I'm serious.
Those are good teams.
Yeah.
This is the lost decade.
I wish that were true. I wish they would have definitely won in 81 and 89. So in your theory, they would have been 6-time champion then. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is the Bengals are not 6-time champions, but the players who got them to that position should be treated like 3-time champs each. And I think Chris Collinsworth was in both, so he's 6-time champ. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He was part of both of them.
Are y'all gonna end up going to the game for the ceremony? I'm sure you're gonna be there that Thursday night game.
I lost
right?
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, are you going to be there, Mr. Riley? Are you going to be at the championship game, the Ring of Honor, the ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely be there. Me and my mother and my sisters would be there. Wouldn't miss it. Definitely looking forward to it.
Well, I will be there too. I will see you. Of course, I will be in the press box. I will be in not the press box, the box with Mike Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's a long story, but he owes me some money, and so this is how he's paying me back. But yeah,
that's nice. Man,
I basically
you then.
Thank you. I gave him the party supplies for the Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah. So, John, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question for Ken specifically. Just being the son of a cornerback who was a former quarterback but ended up being a cornerback, was there any ever doubt that you were eventually going to play cornerback, and not only play cornerback but for your dad's alma mater as when he was the coach? Was there any doubt that was the trajectory of your at least college career?
Oh,
John, I'll answer that question. Oh, go ahead. Mr. Riley. The question. The question is: your father was a cornerback and a quarterback. Was there every doubt that you were going to play cornerback at your father's alma mater? Is that right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, good question. I don't think I've been asked it before. Actually, my first choice was wide receiver. I was a wide receiver all through high school, and that's what I loved. But when the time came, I played both wide receiver and corner in high school. But when the time had come for me to go to college, there were just so many good wide receivers. I think 4 out of the 9 went and played professionally. And my dad made a good point. He was like, well, wide receivers, they're the ones who are running into plays, so they were in and out a lot of times. Whereas defensive back, you're in there the entire time. Plus, they didn't have the amount of depth that they had at defensive back. So that's why I ended up transitioning to defensive back, and it came natural to me, that position. But my first choice, all through high school, was actually wide receiver. So I guess they're similar though, because I can learn and know what to do as a defensive back playing wide receiver. So it kind of went hand in hand. But my first choice was wide receiver. But good question. Nobody never really asked me that before.
Well,
That's just so funny.
Yeah,
like both of you wanted to start on offense, and then you ended up becoming defenders. And it's just I hear all these stories about children of wide receivers or cornerbacks sticking to that side, rarely making the switch. So I just think that's really cool how you both kind of found yourself on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Well, I can comment on that, John. You really never know where life is going to take you. So it could go either way. You could be the son of, a guy who sells shoes on an island. I'm not saying that's what I was, but you could be. You could be. you could end up the host of the #1 Bengals podcast. That's the name of the show, by the way, Mr. Riley. It's the #1 Bengals podcast. It's interesting. If you go to iTunes, there's only one option. You can only leave a 5-star review. I don't know who hacked the system. Yeah, you can leave a 5-star review, and it will automatically subscribe you if you ever click on it. So you can go ahead and do that, and everybody else can do that. And we're going to close the show very soon. But just one last question for you. As your father was also a brilliant coach. He was a coach, assistant coach for the Packers, and then he went to his alma mater and was a very good coach and athletics director. Did you ever think about getting into the management, coaching kind of, non-playing side of it?
I did. I was actually a grad assistant after I finished playing. And then father kind of was like, hey, with that lifestyle, you have to be willing to travel a lot and, move from place to place. So he kind of discouraged me a little bit about it just because of he knew the pressure that it goes along with it. And not only affects you, but it affects your family as well, because you're always constantly moving. And, so if I had to do it all over again, I would have went that route because I love football and that's where my heart always has been. But at the time, I was kind of frustrated with my playing career and how that didn't turn out. So I kind of just, went a different direction. But if I had to do it all over again, hindsight 2020, I definitely would have stayed somewhere within the, the football.
Yeah,
having a football career.
Well, we love football too, Mr. Riley. I mean, I won't get into the reasons why I didn't make it. It's I'm under 3 feet and I weigh about 30 pounds.
Right.
But you
were a great kicker. You were a great kicker.
I was a really good kicker. He's right. I was really good. And yeah, but it was. I got into the media side. A lot of people are wondering, how did you not make it? You don't know how things play out. A lot of injury concerns. My eyesight was a big issue with them. But we traverse the paths that are put in front of us. And your father was a legend. He was a beloved man, which is much bigger than any football accomplishment. He is now a Ring of Honor person. He's in the Ring of Honor, metaphorical. They're not going to, no, I hope I'm not breaking any news. They're not going to send you a ring in the mail. I'm sorry. But he is metaphorically holding hands with Ken Anderson, and Paul Brown and the others. And you are a very, very lovely young man. And we love talking to you. And we hope that you can come on the show again.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast and I learned a lot. So anytime I can come on, and I love to, but thanks
and talk
again
to a
for
puppet.
your support. Keep up the good work. Love your show. And it was nice meeting you. Hopefully see you on September.
We will,
September, rather.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for Ken Riley II and Luke, the Truth Null, and John Sheeran, I'm Daddy McDuke. So long. Esviti. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.